Hello everyone. In this video, we'll see the basic Git commands which will be useful for a DevOps engineer or a developer in order to perform his day-to-day activities. First, we'll check whether Git is installed or not. So if it is installed, what's the version? For that, git -- version. So Git is installed and the version is 2.53. Then we'll go with configuring the user information. So for that, we have to use git config -- global, then user.name. Within double quotes, you have to mention the name. Here, what's the need of configuring this username and mail is you can track the commits done by you. So similarly, we are configuring the email also. And here, if you observe, we are using global. Why we are using this -- global is it will set for all the repos. You need not set individually for each and every repo. So after configuration is done, we can go with git config -- list. So with this command, we can see the entire configuration which is set. But if you want to see specifically user related info, then git config -- list use a grep command. See grep user, it will give only the information related to the user, that is username and email. Next, after doing this, in order to perform the main basic activities in a Git, we have to first create a new repository in GitHub. So let us go to GitHub now. So here, click on new, give a name for the repo, and the description is optional. Under configuration, you can make the visibility as public or private. That is all depends on you. And then adding a README file, let us make it mandatory because it is useful to give the description of the repo. And .gitignore, it will help you to tell the Git that it has to ignore certain files in order to not push from local to remote repo. So according to the situation, you can specify which files have to be ignored. So that is purely optional. And then click on create repo. Now the repo got created. So click on code here. So here if you see, we have the HTTPS URL for cloning the repo. Just copy that. Then again come to git bash. Here git clone. Paste the URL which you have copied. See, the repo has got cloned to the local. Now if you cd into that git demo, that the repo which you have cloned, give an ls, you can see that only readme file is there. Now what we are going to do is we'll create a text file in this repo. So vi demo 001.txt and we'll give some test information. Then save and quit. Then give an ls. Here if you see, the new text file has got added to the repo which you have cloned from GitHub. Now mainly here you have to see what is git status. So git status. If you see, give that command git status, it is giving us demo 001.txt is an untracked file. So this untracked file has to be moved to the staging. So in this life cycle, in the git life cycle, first thing is you have created a file. That file will be basically in untracked stage. that untracked file has to be moved to staging. Then from staging, it has to be moved to the local repo. Then from local repo, you have to push it to the remote GitHub repository. These are the steps. So now we have to move this demo001.txt to the staging. Here, generally, people will have a question. What is a staging area in local? Staging area is nothing but, see, when we clone a repo from GitHub repository, GitHub, what happens is when you give that git clone command, by default, it has internally git init command. So that git init will initialize the repo. That means it will create a .git folder. So this, when you give a staging command, that is git add dot, what happens is in the .git folder, it will create a temporary location with a name called index, and it will store all the staging information there. So that is the concept. Now, in order to move demo001.txt, we have given git add dot. Here you should be very clear. If I give git add dot, then now we have only one file, txt file. Suppose we have 100 files which are created, modified, all that. Then all the files will be moved to staging. No, in that 100 files, I want only 2-3 files to be moved to staging. Remaining should be neglected. Then in that case, you have to specify git add followed by the file name separated with comma. So that is how you're going to proceed. So now in my case, only one file. So just I have given git add dot. So now if you give git status, see, now the demo001.txt has gone to a staging area. So if now that staging demo.txt should be committed. So git commit. So when we issue this git commit, what happens is this staged file will be moved to the local repo. So git commit -m, you have to give a proper message. See, this has moved to the local repo. Now, what is the ultimate task? From local, it has to be pushed to the remote GitHub repo. So, you have to give a git push. So, it has successfully pushed to the remote GitHub repository. Now, let us go to the GitHub and check whether the newly added file is pushed or not. If you see, demo001.txt has been pushed from local to remote GitHub repository. So this is the entire life cycle. Here we can take up one more scenario. Already we have demo001.txt. Now what we'll do is we'll modify this file. Also we'll create a new file. Now let us see how the status shows. So vi. So let us modify this demo001 file. Save it and quit. Now create one more new file. Demo002.txt. Now we have two files. One is modified file, one is newly created file. Now give a git status. See, if you see here, you're able to see the tracking of the files like this. One is a modified file. This one is an untracked file. Means newly created will be an untracked file, and that is a modified file. Now we can move both the files to staging area. So git add dot. Again, if you see here, the working copy will be replaced because that is already existing and that is just modified. So this is the modified file and this is the new file. So now give a git commit. So both the files will be committed in the local repo. Give proper, message also, because these things will help you in tracking in the remote GitHub repo. So git push. Now let us go to GitHub and check whether the newly added and modified files. If you open the files, demo.txt, the modified one got updated and the newly created file also got pushed from local. Thank you.